Welcome to E4 Electric, your #1 source for what's happening now in the world of electric cars. Today we're going to talk about why I'm having a pretty strong feeling that Fisker is pulling out of CES, where they were supposed to unveil their car. We're also going to talk about the new rules that Tesla now has for supercharging, which is pretty interesting. Of course, comment of the day, and there was one more topic that I completely forgot that we're going to talk about. So pretty loaded show, and we're going to start right now. With that out of the way, welcome to the show, especially for those of you who are watching for the first time. If you are interested in staying up to date with what is happening in this amazing universe of electric cars, you came to the right place. Please consider subscribing and hitting the bell notification icon so you don't miss anything, but most importantly, become a part of our community. All right, let's get to the very first topic, which is Fisker. As you remember, this is the company that released their very first car, Fisker Karma, before Tesla released their Model S. Tried to beat them to market. They did. It was very highly priced, started at $130,000. It only went like 40 miles per single charge. People didn't really like it, and they actually went belly up. Now, after the bankruptcy, they merged as two companies, and one of them stayed as Fisker, and they have announced that they're going to be unveiling their first car after they emerged out of this bankruptcy. And you can see it right here. It looks pretty good. It's called EMotion, and everyone was excited. They said they were going to unveil it at the Consumer Electronic show in Las Vegas this January, and a couple of months ago they announced that they've patented the breakthrough, what appears to be a breakthrough technology for 500-mile range battery that, get this, can be charged in 1 minute. Now, a lot of you guys have submitted so many comments calling this BS and it's not possible and all that stuff. Now, yes, there are some limitations on how fast you can charge, but this is what they're going with. It's a solid state battery, so it is possible, but they definitely made some news with that. A few weeks ago, they made more news with this cute little thing. This is the Orbit. This is kind of a autonomous driving shuttle for smart cities that they've announced with a partnership, but really all eyes were going to be on their new car. Now that car wasn't going to have that amazing fast charging technology. That technology, they said, that would come out probably 2023, so 5 more years. But this car was supposed to have just a regular lithium ion battery. So but here's the thing. I've decided that I'm going to go to Vegas. I got my press pass to cover this unveiling because it's a big deal. I mean, this car could be a major competitor. Now, it is still priced at $130,000, which I think is a mistake. But nevertheless, this would be yet another player in the electric car industry. So I was very excited. I got my press passes. I got my a special underwear packed. I got my tickets to Vegas. I'm excited. My girlfriend's going to run the camera for me there, so it's going to be exciting. But all of a sudden, I'm looking at the list of all exhibitors, and I don't see Fisker there. I don't see him for last month. I didn't see him 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. Now, as a member of the press, I'm starting to get all of these emails where, you know, brands are reaching out to you. They're inviting you for the demo during the press days, and I don't see Fisker. I once again check the directory, check the schedule, check the directory, check the schedule. They're not there. So I reach out to Fisker, say, hey guys, what's going on there? Nothing. They usually replied in the past to me pretty quickly. No reply. I emailed my contact at CES, and she said, hey, listen, I don't see Fisker here on the schedule either. So I reached out back to Fisker, and this time I was kind of really a little bit, you know, more determined to get a hold of them. So I got a hold of them, and they were like, yeah, you know, I really can't talk about this right now, but we're going to make an announcement to the media very soon. That is not a company that is ready to present at CES. Either that, or they have something amazing planned, and but still, you got to be registered to present there. Now, I don't know if they're going to present in a partnership with someone else, and they already are exhibitors, or they're going to create somehow their own event. But this is very close. Let me remind you this. We're about, what, 3 weeks away from the CES, and it just looks to me like it just looks like they're just not going to present, and there's some sort of a problem either with the car being ready, with the company in general, the direction they're going, maybe funding. So I'm starting to kind of, well, I'm not worried, I'm not their mom, but I definitely, you know, and by the way, as you guys know, I usually bring the news to you because, you know, I look through the internet, I go through, you know, Electric, Teslarati, and all other publications, and I kind of put it together in a nice package for you guys. But today, it is, I think I'm the one who's actually breaking this news to everybody because I just noticed it literally yesterday, and by their reply, it appears that they might just be pulling out of CES and there might be some trouble in paradise. So I will keep you updated. I will keep asking both CES and Fisker for comment about this, but at this point, it appears that Fisker is not going to present their brand new car EMotion at the CES. So you heard it first here. All right, let's of course mention that this show and this channel is sponsored by Evanex, the aftermarket accessories for Tesla. All right, now let's move on to the next topic. As you remember, actually there was a first and second, now there's a third round of emails that Tesla is sending out to inviting people who are reservation holders to configure their Model 3. It's moving pretty fast. I was in the second wave. As you guys know, I'm actually not going to configure it until September when my lease expires, but nevertheless, it's moving pretty quick, and you know, mainly I'm assuming because it's, you know, that you can only configure at least a $49,000 version right now with the long range, and I think a lot of people are waiting for the $35,000 version or all-wheel drive. So it's moving pretty fast, which is good. But as you remember, many people, including myself, and this is the video that I took, reported that Model 3s were being stockpiled in two customer delivery locations that Tesla has here in California, one in Los Angeles, and the one that you're watching here is on Fremont, with over 100 Model 3s, and we were also kind of wondering, you know, why aren't they delivering them? And this is my drone footage. As you can see, they're packed like sardines in that parking lot. So yeah, we were kind of all wondering, and I decided to drive by there last night, and I have to say that that parking lot is not as full now. It looks like they are delivering the cars. It looks like there is no, you know, my best guess was that maybe they need to have certain small part that needs to be installed. It's easy to install, maybe back ordered or whatever. So they put them in the delivery, you know, delivery center parking lot. Why keep them at the factory? And they're just going to install that part real quick before delivering them. Another sort of you know, thought that I had, maybe they're just waiting to deliver them for the next year because maybe deliveries of Model 3 were more important for the next quarter than it is for this one, which could be true. But, you know, I think maybe 20-30% of those cars are now gone. The trucks that I saw delivering cars that are mainly delivering right at that point, again, this don't take it like as a big deal, Model X's and Model S's. So just looks like business as usual there, and they're moving those cars. So I think that's pretty good news overall. So that's that. I'm actually excited about that because it seems like they are really doing this. All right, guys, of course, a reminder, the Patreon page link is in the description of this video. So you want to contribute to the show, but also see some exclusive footage and behind the scene footage, please browse to that page and enjoy. All right, so let's see. Tony in the chat room says, I'll give Fisker the benefit of the doubt for now. Nothing is truly ever possible until it is. This is what's called a breakthrough. If they can't come through with their promises, confidence will suffer. Well, yes, I agree with you. And of course, point taken. But don't forget that they've already had a failure of getting to the market with a car that appeals to people, because I think they just rushed and didn't have the right technology to compete with Tesla at that time. Now they are, well, you know, don't forget that they didn't, I probably shouldn't have used the word announced, right? We kind of all found out that they filed for a patent for that technology, and we don't know if it's going to really, you know, realize. They are saying that it's going to take 5 years. My bigger concern right now, what the hell is going on with EMotion? Because don't forget, if they don't get that going, it doesn't matter what they got going on in 5 years. They need to present that right now, and it looks like it looks like they're in trouble, at least from what I am seeing. Let me know if you guys reading this information differently than I am. All right, let's move on to comment of the day, which is of course my favorite portion of the show. It comes from Amir. It's a relatively long one, but I'll just read you the first part, which is, by the way, a very good point. Amir says, I highly recommend using the Model 3 for Uber and Lyft. I currently drive for Uber in New York State, New Jersey, and Connecticut. The Model 3 qualifies for Uber Premium, New York, and Connecticut. Not only do you save on constant oil changes and gas, but you will be earning more for potential premium rides. Well, that is actually a very good point, because we're talking about how Model 3 is going to be disrupting so many different industries, and it is, but I think it will be disrupting the Uber and Lyft industry, because don't forget, even though Model 3s are not qualified for free supercharging, the charging is still going to be much cheaper than if you were to buy gas. So that's number one. That's very important. Secondly, the maintenance. You know, that car is very, very simple. Very few moving parts, just really wheels and a motor and a flat screen. Okay, so those cars can really go a long time without maintenance. So and it looks like there's some of the capabilities that car has are definitely targeting the car sharing service. Don't forget, it's going to have autonomous driving at some point, but right now it's going to have driving assistance, which means the drivers will be safer just based on statistics. So that's a good point, and I think a lot of people will use it that way, of course. But that brings me to another story about the new rules that Tesla just implemented. They've announced it last night. As you know, the supercharging is free for most cars that are on the road right now. And right now, if you refer somebody, if you buy your Tesla Model S or Model X from a referral code, you will also get free supercharging. We don't know what's going to happen next year, but that's what it is right now. However, Tesla announced today, which kind of gives us indication that they will prolong the free supercharging program. But they said, if you're buying the car from now on, Model S or Model X or Model 3, well, Model 3 really doesn't qualify anyway, but you will not be getting free supercharging if you're using your Model S or Model X for any type of commercial use, including the car sharing service. And that's why I featured that comment of the day before the story. So even if you're delivering something for a company or whatever, and I'm assuming getting paid, you will not be able to use free supercharging. And if you're going to try to break that rule, they are going to limit your ability all the way to maybe taking it away from you from being able to supercharge. Now, we only have 2 weeks left, at least 2 weeks left until the free supercharging program is over. That, of course, makes me believe that they're going to do more of that one way or another. But this is something new, and they're basically trying to once again come up with more rules to make sure that superchargers are for those who they've originally intended to have them, which is the long distance travelers. And I already told you guys many times that it's been a problem here in Silicon Valley with all the lines that you see on superchargers. It's gotten better. I have to say, it's definitely gotten better because they build a lot of them now. But at the same time, I see a lot of people still supercharging just because they don't want to charge at home, or they can't charge at home, and that's what creates a line. I believe that the Tesla should implement the rule that if you're charging within 30 miles or whatever of your home, you should not get it for free. You're obviously not traveling. So Anton in the chat room says Model 3 price per kilometer over lifetime less than gas here in Sweden. Well, it's less than gas here in America as well, and we have pretty cheap gas. Joe in the chat room says Fisker is a nice car if you're a collector. They will sell for a lot of money at other auctions. Yeah, that is kind of a collector item because they obviously stopped making Fisker Karma. I don't know what's going to happen with EMotion, but you know, it's a classic at this point. Tony in the chat room says, I agree with you, Alex. If Fisker can deliver their EMotion as promised, they will be considered DOA. I really, you guys know that I am an electric car fan first and a Tesla fan second. So I'm going to root for any company that's bringing something to the market, that's pushing it forward, that's bringing new technology and that innovates. And Fisker appeared to be that company, at least as they emerged from their bankruptcy. So I would be very sad that if that's falling apart, and I gotta tell you, that's one of the main reasons I wanted to go to CES. However, now that I look at all the different exhibitors there, Mercedes and Hyundai and others, there will be plenty of things to report with new technologies, self-driving technologies, smart cities technologies is a big thing there at that convention, at that show. So definitely it's something to report. So I'm going to report live for you guys from there, and of course I'll have a lot of pre-recorded segments as well. All right, guys, that was a lot of news. A reminder that tomorrow we're also going to do a show at 11 a.m. but this time we're going to go for a while. I'm going to recap all of the news. If there are any new news, of course, we'll talk about that. I'm going to answer all the questions and comments from the comment section when people watch this on the replay. So we're going to have a good time as always. So I will. I'm definitely looking forward to that. I will see you guys then, and of course, remember to stay charged.